The teams for Pandora's Box 13 just got finished being announced a few days ago, and this time around the teams are a pleasant surprise as I wasn't expecting them to be this good. So hats off to Master Garf for making these teams masterpieces. By the looks of it, most of these teams I could see actually winning the event. But anyways, without further ado, let's just get right into the teams for Pandora's Box 13. Alright, so first up we have the Crimson Cyclopes with President Poundcake, Antfrost, Kyle F, and Ubby, with their average being 9,166. Ubby and Antfrost is a very solid duo, and Poundy and Kyle are actually two very good role players as we've seen in the past, you know? So, hey, this team could do really well, and I think they're going to get top 4. I just don't know if they're going to be consistent in many games. I feel like they could do pretty well at some games. Like, they're probably going to do pretty good at, like, the movement games, maybe even a survival games, a PvP game here and there, but, like, really the team games, they're probably going to struggle a little bit in, but for the most part, I mean, this team should do pretty well. If this team gets, like, movement games or team games later in the events, they might struggle a little bit. But PvP-wise, this team actually should probably get like top 3 every single time, so hey, we'll have to wait and see though. Next up we have the Hazel Hydras with Carter, Toph, Forsey, and Dakota, with their average being 9,092. I forget how well Forsey did in his first event. I think he did pretty decent. He was on that team with Reddoons, Ameston, and someone else, right? He was on that team. That team was they did pretty good, I think, right? Hopefully 4C pops off again with this team, because Carter hasn't played in PB in a while, I think. It's been like 4 events, right? Hasn't he? Hasn't it? Since he's played? He played in, what, like PB 9 or something like that last time? So it's been a little bit since he's played. And then Toph is one of the most consistent and one of the best PB players out there. So yeah, no doubt about his skill level and everything like that. And Dakota's also a really solid role player for this team. I'm probably going to predict them top 2 just because Carter and Toph are a crazy PvP duo, probably better than Antfrost and Ubby. But I feel like they're even more well-rounded in like movements and parkour and stuff like that. So I think this team's actually going to do really well in 90% of the games. So I'm definitely going to predict them top 2, probably like second, maybe first, depending on if they get PvP games a lot later in the event. We'll have to wait and see, but I think this team is 100% guaranteed like top 3. They're just really good. Next up we have the Golden Griffins with Actual Narwhal, X-Shatter, Cloud, and Kendall, with their average being 8,691. I don't know how well Cloud and Shatter know each other. I don't think they're not really from the same community, so I don't really know if they're going to have the best chemistry duo-wise. They're still a solid duo, like probably top 4 duo. I just don't know if they're like one of the best. Probably not, but I think they could still do decent. Like they could probably get like 4th, maybe 3rd, but like most likely 4th or 5th around the middle of the pack. So this team is definitely one of the more average teams in the event. I don't know if they're like super good, but they're not like terrible, you know? I think this team's probably going to do the best at movement, but maybe they could be a pleasant surprise in other games too. We'll have to wait and see though. But I'm interested to see how Cloud and Shatter do together. Next up we have the Mint Mermaids with Simply Fur, Reddoons, FireBreathMan, and Wolfeei, with their average being 8,536. Yo, let's go. We got Fern in the event. Very interesting. I never really expected Fur to join other Minecraft events, to be honest. I always thought he was going to be more of like a one-trick pony with only playing in Block Wars as a minigame event. But hey, it's cool to see him playing in other Minecraft events. I think he's definitely a pleasant surprise, especially for this team. Of course, he knows Wolfeei, and he probably knows Shane. Maybe not Reddoons, but most likely he knows these players on this team because they're other Block Wars players, and he's teamed with most of them before. So the team chemistry here is actually pretty good. Reddoons is actually a very solid 3rd frag in PB, but the thing is, Wolfei's not the strongest 2nd frag. I think this is a very solid, well-rounded team. I just don't know if they're going to be the best. They're probably going to be more of a content team, but maybe they're going to try. We'll have to wait and see. Depends on how like Shane feels, to be honest. It's really, if Shane wants to try, this team could do really well. If Shane just wants to have fun, then yeah, this team's gonna probably do like bottom 3, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. Again, like I said, my predictions for this event are probably gonna be some of my worst ever because of how many good teams there are in this event. So I'm gonna say this team probably gets lower half of the leaderboard, but hey, this team could definitely be a pleasant surprise to see up there in the standings. Next up we have the Diamond Dragons with Boosfer, Feinberg, Bablu, and Anthos, with their average being 8,712. I did not expect the return of the Feinberg and Boosfer duo. I did not expect Bablu to join PB soon as well. Really cool to see him here though. I mean, last time we saw Bad Blue in a Minecraft minigame event in Mayhem, what was it, like 27? He went crazy. So hey, we could see another pop off from Bad Blue, because if Bad Blue ends up being a really, really good third frag, this team might just win. Like, I think this team is actually going to do really well, because Fine and Boosfer have experience with teaming each other before in Block Wars, and I feel like that's going to translate pretty well over in PB, because Feinberg's one of the best PB players already, which is crazy, and Boosfer is a really good second frag, maybe not in PV, but in other events, yeah. So hopefully him as a second frag can kind of translate over here. And Antfrost and Bad Blue should be two really good support players, considering that like this team is going to be very well rounded, and I could definitely see this team getting top 2. So for right now, I might give them top 2. It's going to be between them, Hazel, and another team. We'll get to another team later, but yeah, I think this team definitely can do really well, and I think they're going to do well in like most games, to be honest. I feel like movement's not going to be a problem for them. PvP is probably not going to be a problem, considering Bad Blue is actually a really good PvPer, and Booster and Fine can definitely hold their own. I mean, Fine's literally one of the best PvPers in the event. I'm very confident that this team can get top 3. Next up, we have the Cobalt Centaurs with Kalen, Fruitberries, CPK, and Locky Ness, with their average being 8,715. Oh my gosh, the Fruitberries and Kalen duo has returned after Block Wars Chaos. Let's go. That's awesome. And then CPK and Locky returning on a team is kind of crazy, to be honest. I never would have expected CPK and Locky to team in an event before, but hey, I'm all down for it. This team low-key could be like a sneaky team to finish top 4, to be honest, but I don't think they're going to get top 2. I just don't. Just CPK and Locky are two of the weaker players in the event and aren't that consistent, to be honest. And Kalen and Fruit can definitely pop off, but Fruit hasn't been the most consistent in the first like 2 events he's played in either. I don't know. I could see this team doing really well at Temple Lockout. I know Fruit's actually pretty decent at Temple Lockout. They could do really good at Disco Fever too. I don't know how well Kalen's probably good at Disco Fever, to be honest. What other games? That parkour game, I forget what it's called, but they could do decent at that too, because of course Kalen, but like Fruit's again one of the best parkours in the event as well. So I'd probably say, I don't know, I'd probably say Disco Fever would be one of their best games, and Temple Lockout, I feel like. So if they get Temple Lockout like last, maybe I could see them popping off. But let me know what you think about this team down below in the comments, as it's a very interesting one. Next up, we have the Purple Phoenixes with Mystic Sins, CGQ, Wolfeei, and Baseball Drew, with their average being 8,253. Okay, I did not expect this team. This is definitely more of an OG team than it is a content creator team, because I don't really know many players on this team. I mean, I've seen them all in the events before. I don't even know who the top frag is here. I think it's CGQ. I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure CGQ is the top frag here. It might be Baseball Drew, but I'm pretty sure CGQ is like close to a top 10 player in the event, or at least like a top 15 player. So the rest of the players here are probably going to be good role players and good surrounding players. But they do sadly have the lowest average here, and I'm not trying to go off of average, but because I don't know them that well, I'm probably going to have to go off their average and say that they're going to get last or at least bottom 2. I just don't think they would be able to compete against the competition here. But maybe they could do pretty good in 1 or 2 games down the stretch in the events. You never know. But sadly, I'm probably going to have to predict this team last place. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Pink Pegasi with Dong Fortnite, Shadoon, Purpled, and Ghosty Fruits, with their average being 9,356. Now, I think they have the highest or second highest average here, which is pretty crazy considering we have Purple and Dong Fortnite as a duo, and then Shadoon as a third frag is pretty crazy. If Shadoon ends up doing good in his first event, this team is automatically being top 2. I mean, Sam can get top 5 in PB if he wants to. Purple can get top 5 as we've seen before in PB if he wants to. And if they're together, they're a deadly duo. And then Shadoon on top of that could get like top 15 in his first event if he ends up, getting lucky and ends up preparing well and all that stuff. And then Ghosty's like one of the best role players in the entire event. So this team's just like set up for success. But we'll have to wait and see if they actually are a team that's worthy of getting top 2. But I believe they are, to be honest. I believe this team can do very well in most games. I think they're definitely going to excel at PvP, and they're definitely going to be a team to watch out for in PvP. But they're not even that bad at like movements or team games either. So this team is going to probably get top 4. And if I was to guess, most likely top 3. Will they get top 2? We'll have to wait and see. I might predict them top 2. I might not. We'll have to wait and see on that too. But nonetheless, still a very cool team to end off this event with. Alright guys, so really quick, before the video ends, I just wanted to give you guys my current Pandora's Box 13 team predictions. In 8th place, I have the Purple Phoenixes. In 7th place, I have the Mint Mermaids. In 6th place, I have the Cobalt Centaurs. In 5th place, I have the Crimson Cyclopes. In 4th place, I have the Golden Griffins. In 3rd place, I have the Pink Pegasi. In 2nd place, I have the Hazel Hydras. Meaning, of course, in 1st place, I have none other than the Diamond Dragons. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and make sure to comment down below your own team predictions for this event, as these teams are pretty crazy, and really, it's gonna be a dogfight to see who gets out on top here. Also, click on this video right here to watch my Minecraft Mayhem Birthday Bonkers team predictions video. But until the next upload, peace.